Cool, man. Well, thanks again for coming out.
No worries.
I guess like the first question I wanted to ask you is what you're passionate about. What is Kickdrum?
It's in its current form. It's booking and promotion on one side. Working with, we've worked with well over 150 bands, artists. Probably, I've lost count. Probably maybe over 200. At least over 120 local bands and artists, and then ones are away. But then we also do management. So I manage Jesse Speed, Body Wash, Ravine, and St. Lawrence Warehouse Company. Is what I've been doing for the last little while, and then the other aspects of it are not really services per se, just kind of like nice bonuses that are having to do with just kind of trying to get more exposure for the local music scene. And so we have the SoundCloud that we try to push, do local playlists, get people listening to that. We have a video series, it's called like Clash Sessions, that we feature different local artists. First it was at little cafes and stuff, and now we've kind of moved towards studio settings, but doing live videos as well. So those are kind of the fun extras. But yeah, and then festivals. I guess that kind of goes under the booking and promotion, is that we've put on 2 festivals this year. So
you put on the summer marathon very recently.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was great. Yeah, it was really cool. We had 53 local bands and artists and 16 shows across. I guess there was 5 days of music, and then one day we had a environmental documentary screening and discussion. And we had we raised close to $700 for charity for this environmental organization. Well, they're kind of multifaceted. They do a lot of different things, but they try to build resiliency in people's livelihoods in developing countries through like ecological agriculture. So agriculture that doesn't rely on Monsanto and crops that don't produce their own seeds and tons of synthetic fertilizers, and so it's kind of multifaceted. But yeah, so I felt really good about that. In terms of the music was awesome. Although it's the first time you put on a festival, so it's kind of expectations and reality. There's a little bit of a gap there. My expectations were maybe too high in terms of just in terms of not in terms of kind of with the bands. The performances were amazing. I caught almost all the shows, at least parts of them. I was kind of biking around like a crazy man. Yes, the music was great, and the experience of people who went were great. I think it's tough in the summer with so many free things and other
festivals,
activities, entertainment, and people out of town, and people doing, there's a million things drawing your attention. So adding another festival, in July in Montreal is kind of insane. But I think the concept behind the summer marathon was, screw all these big festivals charging you hundreds of dollars, and and all these international acts kind of playing the same festival circuit across the world. And some of those bands I love, but at the same time it's like, who can afford that? Who can afford all these things? And I want to do something that's affordable and local in nature, because sometimes I think some of the bigger Montreal festivals kind of forget the local scene. So yeah, that was kind of so we achieved that. We had really affordable shows, and people really enjoyed themselves, and people discovered a lot of new music. So it was good. It was good, man.
That's really cool. I wasn't aware that you were raising money for the environment with the summer marathon.
$1 from every ticket. Yeah. So we had just shy of 700 people come out over the 5 days, and then we had more than that when you at the shows, once you include people who were volunteers and guest lists and things like that, people who weren't necessarily paying to get in. But so that was really cool, in a whole field or sector that I find very interesting. And so I've been trying to, I'm very socially, environmentally conscious and concerned, and so with the festival, with hopefully in the future too, we'll talk about that in a bit, but there's gonna be more opportunities for Kickdrum to give back to the community, not only in the sense of just helping people discover local music and help those artists kind of break out, and I think that's a social good in Montreal, but other things as well. But so it's tied.
Actually, this is the perfect segue to
Okay.
on to the next question, which is you mentioned to me earlier that you're very interested in environmental policy and that you're actually moving back to BC, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just tell me a little bit about that. Like,
Yeah.
what made you make that decision?
Everything I've learned about the world thus far and where we're going and the historical context of kind of where we're at, and a lot of things worry me about our current culture. A lot of things worry me. I mean, climate change is a very real, present, and
Absolutely,
scary thing, and kind of tied to that all the other sorts of environmental damage, and that is tied to that is very worrying, and so for me it's almost like a moral imperative. I kind of, with the knowledge that I have about these issues, I'm constantly reading books. I'm constantly, even on my own time, I don't read fiction. I'm only nonfiction. I only read books on these sorts of subjects, and it was a big part of my studies, and that's kind of what I wanted to do. I wanted to go into environmental work before I got into Kickdrum, and then I kind of fell down the rabbit hole of music and really loved it, but now I'm feeling a little bit exhausted, a little bit I put a lot in and I've taken a lot out, but it's kind of, I want to use my business terms, diminishing marginal return on just like how much I'm putting in and actually getting out.
So the degree was worth this moment.
Yeah. But no, we're going to we're already facing some of the biggest social and environmental issues over time, and they worry me a lot, and the only way I'm going to feel better about them is if I actually do something myself directly to influence them and make positive changes. So I've kind of I think I've known that for a while, but now finally being able to let my baby go a little bit, which has been a difficult process, but it's an interesting time. Yeah, interesting time.
I mean, that's a really beautiful thing. Like, it's very nice that you're going into that.
Yeah, we need whether you're going into it, full in terms of a career or not. We need all people to be more conscious and active. Yeah, and not only consciousness is great, but it doesn't mean anything unless you're active.
Unless you actually do something about it,
Yeah, it's a physical problem, and we need, actual physical solutions and changes and movement. If everyone believes something in their head, it's not really going to change anything.
So where does this leave Kickdrum?
Right now, I've been having lots of talks with this organization called Jam for Justice, and so Sean and Cynthia and Omar, who started that, and they have like the best of intentions with what they're doing. They're just trying to support independent young local artists through putting together showcases and events for people who who are pretty new to playing live, pretty new to the Montreal music scene, maybe not as intimately familiar with booking practices and aren't like touring and have albums out. So they are just getting started. They're not more, but they are have running some amazing programs and also giving to really cool third-party charities and stuff. And they have a great mission and kind of volunteer base. So what I'm looking to do is have them run the actual events on the ground, having volunteer people at the door, helping on the day of, whereas I continue to do some bookings from afar as much as I can. I mean, there's definitely going to be a big drop off in how many shows we do, because it's just the nature of me finding other work and being really busy and them being really busy, but we won't disappear, which is nice.
Okay, really
which
good.
would be kind of sad, because there's a big, before Kickdrum came around, there's a big hole in the scene that needed filling, and if we went away too, that hole would, we're not even filling the hole, the entire hole, but it would be a bigger one if we weren't there. So I'm happy that we're going to keep on going.
I'm sure the 150 artists or 170,
something like that.
definitely don't want you to go away.
Yeah.
before you started Kickdrum, or I guess you still are a singer-songwriter, right? You still perform.
Yeah, not super actively, but yeah. No, I would still say that. Yeah.
How has becoming a booking agent and being the founder of Kickdrum like affected your like compositional and performer side?
That's a great question. Yeah, it's affected it a lot.
In a bad way?
No, well, in multiple ways. I think first it's it doesn't matter whether it's in music or not. It can mean anything. Just anytime you have your own company or your own organization or own project, it's all consuming. In terms of I'm not working a 30 to 40 hour wage labor shift work. I don't have that sort of job, so I'm kind of always working in some capacity, and so that affects not only my songwriting and the time that I put towards that in performing, but also just my other hobbies and other time commitments and things that I want to be doing. So it affects it in that way. I've had less time to put towards it, and I think when you're spending your whole day working on other people's music that are like infinitely more talented than you are, then it's kind of hard to finish at the end of the day and go home and go, oh, now I feel so motivated to like play music. I'm like, instead I'm like, well, I'm better suited helping these amazing musicians achieve their dreams and kind of be a part of that, and then as opposed to having some sort of fetched dream about my own music. And so it's kind of changed my approach to the music, where I never approached it being like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make a living from doing music and that's my goal, but I did play more actively. I did have a band. I had an EP, and but now it's kind of fallen to the wayside just because of time commitments, and I've been feeling kind of less motivated to play and write, which is unfortunate. I'm hoping to get back into that. But yeah, so I don't know, it's a trade-off. I mean, if you look at purely my songwriting and my music, it's negative because I'm playing less, I'm writing less, but at the same time I get a lot of fulfillment out of helping out other musicians do what they want to do. Right?
And plus you're like constantly surrounded by music, right? Which is
exactly. So it's not like music's not a part of my life. It's too much of my life. Yeah.
Cool. Well, those are all like the serious questions I have for Kickdrum. Now I have just a few like quick questions to ask you.
Yeah.
Kind of just silly,
sure.
like hot and cold, and you have to answer as quickly as you can. Just to get to know you a little bit better. So let's find out a little bit more about you.
Let's do it.
You ready?
Let's do it. I'm ready.
Chocolate or candy?
Chocolate every time. Coffee
or tea?
Coffee.
Montreal bagels or New York bagels?
I've even had New York bagels, so you know the answer to that.
Montreal bagels. That's good. Summer or winter?
Summer. Yeah.
Schwartz or the Maine?
Oh, I'm a vegetarian now. But when I wasn't, it would be Schwartz for taste, but the Maine was where I went more.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I might know the answer to this next one. East Coast or West Coast?
West Coast. Even though I've been here for a while, yeah.
People are not going to like that answer.
Deal with it.
The Beatles or Rolling Stones?
Beatles.
Lennon or McCartney?
Oh man, Lennon.
Nice. Cool, man.
Yeah.
And well, I have one more thing. I have a guitar here.
Oh, cool.
You said you haven't been playing as much, so would you like to play a song?
Why not?
Yeah?
Why not?
Cool, man.
Let's do it.
I'll just set up a second microphone.
Cool.
Oh, Mr. Davies, I think you're crazy, but my mom says that you're just a man who's full of his own problem. Oh, Mr. Davies, I'm feeling lazy, and I don't really feel like listening to a you say. I'm gonna make it on my own. I don't need you anymore. I'm gonna find a place to breathe amongst the insecurities. We love the unknown. Oh, Miss Flynn, now she was my favorite. Sometimes I still see her walk the hall. She stops, she smiles, she asks how I'm doing. Oh, Miss Flynn, now you know just what I needed. Comfort in feeling so uncomfortable. Because this skin is just temporary. Oh, you showered me in pride and taught me to confide. The only one who can begin to understand. It's hard to learn anything on your own. Oh, it's hard to learn